What's up, YouTube? Boy, we are so back here again for another video, man. Today we got a video uploaded by Heavy Spoilers. This one is called Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene breakdown, ending explained, and No Way Home predictions. Literally just like an hour ago, maybe even less than an hour ago, I got back from watching Venom Let There Be Carnage. Overall, I mean, this video is going to contain spoilers, so you know what I'm saying. Overall, I thought the movie was pretty decent. Does the movie have its issues and flaws? Yes, I do think so. I think movie-wise and structure-wise, the first one is better. However, this is not a review. But if you do want to see a review, let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see a review for the movie, because I will do one bright and early tomorrow morning. So please let me know down below if you want to see that review. I'm gonna get into it because as you're here, you probably seen the movie, I hope, or you just don't care about spoilers. But basically, there is a post-credit scene, or a mid-credit scene, more accurately, and it does leave a lot to the mind to wonder about. I don't know why I'm speaking like as if like he's not about to talk about it, but anyways, it confirms like Venom and Spider-Man. Anyways, we're gonna get into it, see what Heavy Spoilers has to say, because they usually give us the scoop and they're really good at taking details from the smallest bits of things and giving out their predictions and stuff. So with that being said, we're gonna check it out. Let's get it, man. Let's go. Before we do it, you gotta let me know down below in the comments, man. How was your day? Hopefully it was pretty good, and if it wasn't, hopefully this message is a little bit better. With that being said, let's get it. Let's go.
Okay, so Venom Let There Be Carnage has a pretty big post-credit scene that sets up a lot of things, not only for the Sonyverse, but also the MCU.
Right.
Throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down the entire thing, and also talking about how it lines up with the comics, what we think it means for the future, and hopefully answering
I wish it was rated R. I feel like that held it back just a little bit.
Because of this,
especially when it came to
so if you haven't had a
dealing
chance
with
to check out
Carnage.
the movie, then I highly recommend that you
Let me know if you want to see that review, man.
There'll be Carnage if you don't hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you smash subscribe to stick closer to the channel than Venom does to Brock.
Make sure if this is their page, like the video, subscribe.
Welcome to
Come
the
back
Heavy
here,
Spoilers
like and
Show.
subscribe.
Now let's get into Venom Let There Be Carnage.
All right.
Okay, so info on this scene has been floating around online for about the last 2 weeks. Earlier in the month, a fan screening was held in London, and though Tom Hardy told people not to tell anyone, peeps just can't keep leaks to themselves. Now, the movie was already ruined for me when I found out that Eminem hadn't made a song for the soundtrack called Carnage, but this scene is still a pretty big one. It's arguably one of the most important that's ever been in a Marvel movie.
Eminem was in it, but
not only does it tease a showdown between Venom and Spider-Man, but it also hints towards how other franchises will be pulled into the MCU. Now in the scene we pick up with Eddie in a hotel room watching a Spanish novella at night. After battling it out with Carnage, Eddie Brock has taken somewhat of a different stance on Venom, and he's now fully embracing his role as the Lethal Protector.
The Lethal Protector. I like that name. It's pretty dope, actually. Didn't they use that for a comic panel? Lethal Protector.
Venom has always been somewhat of an anti-hero.
Right.
It seems like no matter the universe, he's always going to have his dark side. Now, the pair seem to be better than they've ever been, and Venom asks Eddie if he wants to see a fraction of what his species has done. Little is known about the symbiote still, and this just seems like something that will be fun for the character. Well, not fun, because it's enough to break the multiverse, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the room completely transforms around them, and not only does it switch from night to day, but Eddie actually arrives in a completely different universe.
Right.
Everything is a slight alteration to the room that he's just been in, but clearly things have changed, and Eddie...
I think this has to do with the fact that Strange did the, what's it called? And they were switched into the different universe. It had to do with Strange doing the spell. I don't think this is necessarily Venom's doing, you know what I'm saying? Or the symbiote's doing.
He is now in a completely different place.
Right.
All of a sudden, we hear the voice of
J. Jonah Jameson.
as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
There is a report from the DailyBugle.net, which in this universe is an
not a
InfoWars-esque channel.
Right.
In the Venomverse, it's a newspaper, but here it's been changed up.
That's an interesting change, too.
J. Jonah is announcing that Peter Parker has killed Mysterio, and it's then that we realize that Venom is now in the MCU. This is very similar to the news report that was shown at the end of Far From Home. However, there is some additional footage, including a video of Spidey with the mask off, standing in what I believe is New York due to the yellow caps around him. J. Jonah also calls Spider-Man the Spider Menace and talks about his web of lies. You having that? We can also catch a sign that says Pen 1, which I'm guessing is short for Pennsylvania Station. If you cast your mind back to the end of
got you.
remember that this is where the news report took place.
Right.
So potentially Spidey unmasked there, and people at the scene blasted it all over the internet, which allowed that footage to be in this report.
Gotcha.
It's enough to make even the most hardcore DC head start smashing the room up with excitement.
Dude, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Then he licks the screen and makes it pretty clear that he wants to stick his tongue down Tom Holland. Sorry, eat him. He
Hold
wants
up.
to eat the guy. Now the scene
Hold
ends
up.
with the guy whose hotel room it is in this universe walking
That
out,
guy's fun.
and he
That was
asks
funny.
him who he is and how he got there. At this point, Venom has turned back into Eddie, and he says he doesn't know. Venom in the scene denies doing anything, so it is possible that he's either been brought across by another character, potentially Madame Web, or Venom doesn't know the true height of his abilities. Now, Eddie's
I doubt
universe
it's
wasn't
the
really
second.
filled with superheroes, so it's going to be quite jarring for him
I think
to
it's
realize
strange
that
he
he's
did
now
it.
in a universe full of them. Weirdly, the man whose room it is doesn't seem too phased either.
Yeah,
but
he's
this is
like so
probably because
casual.
His entire home has been destroyed by the Avengers about 50 times. He's
Oh,
also
wow.
dealt with the snap, so yeah, it's probably just another Monday. Am I right?
Probably.
However, he should be excited because
Am I right?
Venom and Spider-Man are gonna be in the same movie.
Right.
Now, this is clearly something big for the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Not only does it cement that characters can now cross into other universes, but it also hints towards how Marvel Studios will be bringing in things like the X-Men and more. When Disney bought Fox, they got the rights to use the characters, but outside of a hilarious boner joke, they haven't really done much with them yet. I'll never
Curses,
forgive you for
Marvel.
this, Mikey. Never! Now, during the Morbius trailer, the living
Right.
vampire
This is
was
interesting.
walking in front of an image of Toby.
I think this Morbius. I think maybe. I don't know how to explain this. I feel like to some degree, like because of the costume of that Spider-Man is Tobey's, so maybe he takes place in Tobey's universe, and by the end of that film, he's also brought over into the MCU, or he's already in the MCU, but for some reason they have Tobey there. And think about it. And the thing is too, if I'm not mistaken, the Daily Bugle is also shown in the trailer, and you see Bird Boy, what's his name? The Vulture. So it's like I really don't know how. Let's see how he explains this one.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's unknown whether he's in the MCU or not because of this. However, he did meet Michael Keaton's Vulture
Right.
at the end of the first look. So
So
we
we're
do
not
know
sure.
that at some point he will probably be coming into the MCU, and if he's not
Maybe.
already, then this would be a great way to bring him in.
Yeah.
Now, originally in
Maybe
the
it's like
comics,
a
Spider-Man
midway.
first encountered the symbiote during the events of Secret Wars.
Right.
After traveling to an alien planet, he bonded with a creature, and this formed his iconic black suit. Upon returning to
Dope
Earth, he
suit.
ran into some issues that gave him more than a terrible haircut and some really bad dance moves. The symbiote completely changed
Hey,
his personality.
Spider-Man 3 is a
and made him
classic, I
far
don't
more
care.
aggressive than he'd ever been. Peter was eventually able to free himself from its control and ended up bonding with Eddie Brock before going on to infect Cletus Cassidy during a prison break, which allowed him to become Carnage. When Infinity War was first announced and we saw the trailers of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in space, I
That
thought
was
that
cool.
this would be the point at which he would end up encountering the creature and that he'd then bring it to Earth.
It could
That,
have.
of course, didn't happen, and at the time, Marvel Studios were very much about distancing themselves from Sony outside
Right.
of their usage of Spider-Man. However, when it looked like the latter was going to take back full control of the character, they both came to an agreement and are now allowing Sony-owned characters to interact with their ones from Marvel Studios.
Just kill
This will,
me.
of course, allow Sony to make a lot more money, as the MCU
Oh, yeah,
is pretty
definitely.
much must-watch at the moment, and yeah,
Money
everyone's going to want to see
juggernaut,
their
man.
films. Now, this is why we didn't get the classic rivalry from the
Aw,
comics,
man.
as the rights issue made Sony basically start their own separate universe, which is now having to be brought across into this one. Now, with this being a post-credits stinger, the movie doesn't really have to answer to us exactly what has happened. I actually think that someone in Sony Studios has probably sat right now on Reddit reading through some of the fan theories like,
Oh man.
yes, get this in the script for the next one. That's how it explains it. I kind of get the feeling
That's
that
a good
Sony
point.
just did it and said, yeah, figure it out later.
Figure it out
Much
later,
like when
yup.
Stryker's eyes glowed yellow at the end of Days of Future Past,
That was a
which
little.
still makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now, it's difficult to know exactly when the scene happens in terms of the MCU timeline, but judging by the news report, it clearly happens before Peter and Doctor Strange cast the spell.
I
In
think it
the
happens
this
like right
breaks the
afterwards,
multiverse
doesn't
wide
it?
open, and it allows for
Or right
characters
during
like
it.
Doctor Octopus to come across into the MCU. However, with this potentially happening before then, it is possible that it's caused
Oh,
due to
yeah.
the events of Loki, which
I
have
forgot
allowed
about that.
reality to bend and shift apart.
See,
The
there's
potential-
so many facets of the MCU now where it's like this one's breaking the multiverse, this one's breaking the multiverse, this one's also, you know what I'm saying? We had the whole Ultron thing, and what if we had the Loki thing? Now we got the Spider-Man, Doctor Strange thing. We had the WandaVision. Like everything's leading to something. I mean, not something, but this whole big event to take place. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if one of those events didn't take place, he had so and so and so and so to help make sure this did take place. You know what I'm saying? it's interesting how they did that, you know.
Magnitude of Venom showing
It's not just one necessarily big thing.
Might be enough to shift not only his conscious but also his physical body into another reality. According to theoretical science, if the multiverse exists, then these other universes are simply on other vibrational frequencies that we are unable to perceive or interact with.
I've heard
Thus,
that.
Venom attempting to do this has completely altered the way that Eddie perceives reality, and it's allowed him to travel into a brand new one.
You really think
It's
Venom
still
did it?
unsure whether Venom
I don't
will be
know.
in No Way Home, but according to Super Duper Scuba Daniel RPK, the character won't actually meet with Spider-Man until Venom 3.
Yeah, I was about to say probably the end.
Venom is clearly not only in an unknown country, but also an unknown universe. It would be a huge shock to the system to be transported into another reality, and without a passport or even knowing anyone from this universe, he's gonna have difficulty getting to New York.
Right.
I very much feel like No Way Home will center around.
There's already a lot going on in that movie too.
And then we might get Venom showing up in a post-credit scene.
Yeah,
for the
that's
future,
gonna be
it is
so
possible
crazy.
that some of the symbiote ends up
And it's perfect timing. Think about it. The Spider-Man what's it called game comes out not this year but next year, right? And that has Venom in it as well. As long as I can't speak. As well as Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Venom, Miles Morales, and then confirmation of maybe Venom 3's Venom faces Spider-Man or Venom versus I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, that's crazy.
With Peter, and then this could create his black suit. Eddie could then return home, but Venom would now be in the MCU, and it could lead to Peter forming a rivalry against it, which would allow it to then bond with either the MCU's Eddie or return home and be able to shift between universes.
I don't know.
I like to see him stay in the MCU.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Possibly even take on the Agent Venom mantle that the character has in the comics.
I like Tom Hardy. I think he's really good.
Him clashing with the Webhead, but then he'll see he's just a good kid and not the murderer that the reports are making him out to be.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I didn't even think about that. The whole idea of No Way Home is their fact that they're painting him out to be a murderer. If Brock gets there or Venom gets there and he's like, okay, this guy, clearly the media is saying he's a bad guy, so maybe he's a bad guy. So when they fight, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That makes a lot of sense now. Like, why else would they fight besides, like, of course, there are enemies in the comics or whatever, or their rivals, you know, Spider-Man and Venom, you know what I'm saying, ancient, enemy or whatever. Anyways, but still, it's like, you need a good reason for them to fight. Venom, Spider-Man, bad guy. He doesn't know anything about necessarily the Avengers or Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? Because they never referenced him in his universe. So maybe they haven't. No, they haven't. Anyways, so, like, he probably knows nothing about Spider-Man and he just sees, like, this bad guy dressed in this costume. He's probably another version of Carnage. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You know what I'm saying? That's wow. That's a good theory. I like that.
It's also impossible to know whether the memory spell will affect him or not, as he's not from this universe, but if he has landed in the MCU before that's carried out, then he might genuinely end up forgetting like everyone else does. As mentioned earlier, the Madame Web movie could also hold the key, and it is possible that she brought the
actually
pair across
developing
into the universe
the Madame
once
Web
they reached
movie?
a certain height of consciousness and symbiosis together. Symbiosis, you having that? Either way, I had a lot of fun with Venom, and I think once the film is out digitally, I'll probably do a big breakdown on all the Easter eggs in it, as there's some
maybe
really
like a
cool
commentary
ones
or
and lots
something.
of things for hardcore Marvel heads.
Oh, yeah.
In the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the scene, so make sure you comment below and let me know. No doubt there'll be a lot of theories for this, and what it means for the universe overall. Now, as a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a competition on the 30th of October, in which you could win a Phase 3 MCU box set. We're giving away 3, and all you have to do
That's actually pretty cool.
Like the video,
look at that.
make sure
Civil War, Ragnarok, Doctor Strange, Guardians, Spider-Man. That's actually pretty cool.
At random at the end of the month,
Never
and the
seen that
winners of
before.
the last one are on screen right now, so message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers if that's you. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of What If Episode 8, which will be linked on screen right now.
I'm gonna have to watch that
We've
later.
gone over the whole thing and pointed out all the Easter eggs we could find, so definitely go check it out right after this. If not, then thank you for sitting through the video. You've been the best. I've been Paul, and I hope to see you on the next one.
All right.
Take care. Peace.
Guys, yeah. So basically, we have it there. Potential theories and predictions as to what Spider-Man No Way Home and how Venom is going to interact and be part of the MCU. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Marvel, Sony. Good job, man. Good job. You're making the fans happy because despite how some may feel about the film, Venom Let There Be Carnage, we still got a very, 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 very positive outcome for the ending of the film and where the character Venom has now appeared and what that could mean for the future. So overall, hate the film, love the film, kind of with the film, still had overall really positive outcome, and you're still looking forward to seeing what happens with this character. Anyways, so that's always a good way to end out a movie, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it, you know what I'm saying, probably wasn't the best. Like, I didn't hate the movie. Like, let me know down below, guys. If you guys want to see a review, definitely let me know, because I got some, I don't know, man. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see a review. Anyways, this was the like highlight of the movie, to be honest. Like, this was like, yo, like, it happened, bro. The Spider-Man crossover, Venom crossover is here. So excited. A lot's going to be taking place soon. Y'all let me know down below in the comments, man, how y'all feel about this news. How do you feel about the movie? What are your thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage? Do you want to see me post a review? What do you think is going to take place? What are your theories and predictions for Spider-Man No Way Home and a potential third Venom film? With that being said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram. Leroy says so, same as YouTube channel. There you can send us out to. That being said, peace.